These are interviews from teachers from different grade levels with different years of experience teaching and different subjects. Is there a purpose of education?
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
What is the purpose of education?
To reach every child and to make sure that they're becoming to their fullest potential. And we have to do different things for each of them, but that's our job as an educator.
I'd say the purpose is to, just teach students and help them to see what they're capable of doing and help them to find their interests and basically just to guide people in the direction that they want to go with their lives.
We're beings that are continuously learning, so no matter the age, educating is teaching.
Education is to make sure that students are making progress and learning the things that they're going to need, not only at this moment in time, but also in life that they're going to use in general in their careers, just to be able to do other things outside the classroom, just in everyday life. So education is very important.
For our future, it's to get students, these kids, to grow up to become adults in the world, to learn how to problem solve, to build infrastructure, to help in the medical field, to make this world a better place, essentially.
What are your beliefs as an educator regarding social groupings within the classroom and school setting?
Okay, I like to mix them all up. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Boys, girls, different academic levels. I think it helps, seeing the other side and perspective for the kids. So yeah, I like it all mixed up.
But my personal view is I like to group them not according to low readers and high readers and readers in between, but I really like to have a mix of them. And sometimes I will group them according to reading level, but I do always like to have a mix of them because I think that anytime that you're working in a group, you're working with different skill levels, and you can still learn something from someone else who has different strengths or different weaknesses in a different area.
The class can be the better because they can learn to be more tolerant, they can learn about similarities and differences and how it's okay that we're all different and we can still learn from each other and exist peacefully.
I think social groupings can kind of benefit certain students, but done too much, it can really harm them as well.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on
Yeah.
that?
I think that, with social groupings, being with kids that are like you, can really build up your self-confidence, and, help you grow. But it's also good to be around people that you're not like. When you get a job, not everybody's going to look like you.
It's important to have diverse abilities in each classroom setting because just to kind of make the classroom seem as much like the real world as possible. People will be working with different people from different backgrounds and different ability levels whenever they're in their real jobs. So just to kind of help them prepare for that and learn to work with people who may be different from them, similar to them, and so yeah, I think thinking about the different abilities and social settings in the classrooms, but trying to make it diverse is important too.
Well, it really depends on the social groupings. If the counselor's doing social groupings, I think it's very important because sometimes the students feel more comfortable with students with each other who have some of the same likes or disabilities, where they can have that conversation, where they can problem solve. Also, social groupings in class is very important, so students will be able to know how to interact with others that are different from them or different from their family and their lifestyles, because socially in the world everyone is different, so they need to be able to interact with all people.
In your opinion, what is the promise and hope of education in public schools?
The promise and hope is to, I think, just reach every student and to help every kid that walks through the doors have a better future, and to meet them where they are, and to just guide them and to offer an equal education to each kid that comes through.
I guess the promise is to provide them with a safe learning environment that they can gain knowledge that they'll use in the future. And your hope is that they do come away with the knowledge and skills that they need in the future.
The promise and the hope is to meet the students where they are and for them to make progress from where they are. We don't ever want a student to become stagnant. They should always make progress. They should aim to move forward, and the teachers should be able to design groups to help those students move. And sometimes groups are redesigned based on the progress that the student has made.
What I would hope is that we're making a difference in all of the kids' lives. Really starting a good foundation for them, teaching a lot of social things. You know, they lack that a lot in parenting that we find. So teaching the kindness and safe and respectful, all of that stuff, and really encouraging them to never give up, becoming a good human being, good for society.
That I think that it's so sad that for us as a developed country, that in our math and science, and I think in education in general, I feel that we're actually behind a lot of other countries who don't have as many resources as we do. In China and in India, they have such a they have such reverence for school, and it's taken very seriously. And here I feel that yes, there's the good part of it is that it is like to nurture a child's spirit, but I also think that there needs to be more vigorous academics involved. I think especially in math, I think that there's a lack of just remembering your math facts. And I think that because students are trying to count on their fingers and trying to remember that their math facts, that they're not able to think about the process as much because we're behind on the basics, so we're not able to move forward or advance like other countries are.
So like our foundation isn't strong, and we're trying to push it further, but we don't have a solid
And
foundation.
anytime that we raise our standards, then you do have to push back from educators. I think because the standards are getting raised, but I think that some of it is that we're not getting enough support at home because sometimes mom and dad have to work 2 jobs, or they, or I think essentially like we as a society here don't necessarily value education as much. So yes, you have all these curricular activities, which I think is good, but I think that you need to have your foundations for reading, writing, math down first, and then the other stuff can come.
You can build upon it, essentially.
And my biggest thing is that if we're behind some third world countries in education, then we're doing something wrong.
As a teacher, I promise to continue to raise my expectations for all my students. I will teach them to be kind, open-minded, determined, inspired to learn, and the power of growth mindset. I hope that students will never fear to chase their dreams and interests and will always take risks. I hope that all teachers will encourage students to try their best and their hardest no matter the task. I believe that the purpose of education is to continuously grow and to never remain stagnant or sufficient in